Hey, it's Tammy. So now let's talk about beliefs and needs. It's gonna look very much in the beginning like what you did with your desires list. You're gonna have them all out there on the page and go through, find any duplicates, star them, find any patterns, highlight them, and then we're going to figure out how to prioritize them. This part of the process is simultaneously the most important, the most difficult, and the most powerful part, in my opinion, of the entire process. And in the beginning, it wasn't even part of the process. So when I first started, I used to lump the needs in with the desires. And after some work on myself, I discovered that needs are a little different than desires. Desires are things you want, and often they're passions and you'll work hard for them, but needs are something you have to have, and you are driven by them. You are a slave to them. The trick is we're often not even aware of this stuff that drives us, and in order to make a brand promise, which is basically what we're coming up with here, is your promise to always consistently be a certain way to the people who need you. In order to make that promise, we have to be aware of the things that drive us unconsciously. So when we get stressed out, we're going to act a certain way because there's a certain need we need to meet. And we need to be aware of that. Sometimes it's a strength. Sometimes it's something we might want to change, but we always need to be aware of it before we put our brand premise out there to everyone. So pretty quickly, once I figured the thing out about the needs, I realized that needs are generally driven by fear. You only need to highlight them a few times to figure that out. And as I worked with more and more clients, I realized that fears are driven by beliefs. And it began to become clear to me that almost all of us, almost every single person I've worked with, and even people I've since talked to, for all of us, there seems to be two beliefs that get in our way more than anything else, that stop us from becoming the person we want to be. And those two beliefs are, number one, I'm not safe. Number two, I'm not good enough. So look at your list now and see if there are things that might fit into these two beliefs. For instance, if you listed that you need security, and this can come out in a lot of ways. You can need people to take care of you. You can need money. You can need power. Whatever that usually, boils down to security. And then you can take it a step further. Security, your need for it is based on a belief that you are not safe. So go through and see how many of the things on this list boil down to the belief that you are not safe. Okay, and one of the questions was about core negative beliefs, and those things are generally like, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm poor, I'm uneducated, I'm blah, 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 blah. If you go through these again, you can usually boil it down to I'm not good enough. Almost every core negative belief we have, it's because we're not good enough. Which is really, really terrible. The good news is by identifying this, we're going to start working on changing that belief. But for right now, I want you to go through your whole list of needs and beliefs and see if everything could be boiled down to these two things. I'm not safe. I'm not good enough. If that's true, write it down. You're on your way to changing it. If it's not true for you, I'd be fascinated. I'd be absolutely fascinated, because you'd be the first person that was ever true for in my client list. So if you come up with something else, please, please, please post it in our closed Facebook group, the Questers for Transcending Brand. Or if it's really personal, email me. I would just love to know what you came up with. But if it's as I suspect, after talking to many, many people, and your chief beliefs that hold you back, that drive needs that don't always serve you, are: number 1, I'm not safe; number 2, I'm not worthy. Write those down, and we'll next move on to your values, but we're going to put these beliefs as part of your true north, as something to be changed. Okay? I hope that makes sense. This is so hard for me sometimes to describe. I normally just work with clients and do it myself. But hopefully you get it. Boil this list down to your top needs based on top beliefs. And usually it comes out: I'm not good enough, I'm not safe. So we'll see you in the next video.